Hello there and welcome back. Tonight we will explore a calming journey into the world of sweet potato nutrition, inviting you to fall asleep with the gentle science of sweet potato nourishment. Perhaps one might even softly echo the question, what makes sweet potatoes a perfect nutrient symphony? As we settle into this soothing exploration of everything that makes these tubers such fascinating and nourishing companions. Let us picture a serene farm landscape at a peaceful golden hour, where the setting sun gently caresses rolling hills and enriches the soil that nurtures these humble root vegetables. There a sweet potato peeks its orange flesh through the earthy ground, a rich hue aglow in the waning daylight. In that gentle light, we begin to notice the subtle warmth of color that suggests a wonderful wealth of nutrients waiting to be discovered. Tonight, our intention is not to dazzle with excitement or overwhelm with medical promises, but rather to paint a melodic tapestry of facts, gently supporting our overall understanding of this extraordinary yet humble sweet potato. Settle into your own place of rest as we embark on this soothing exploration, taking a closer look at the nutrients, the history, the culinary possibilities, and the balanced character of sweet potatoes. Slowly the mind drifts to the sweet potato's nutritional composition, emphasizing its delightfully complex carbohydrates. These are not the kind of simple, rapidly absorbed sugars that might spike your energy and then send it crashing. Rather, they are structured polymers that break down more gradually, offering a sustained form of fuel that supports your body in a gentle wave. Sweet potatoes also carry a relatively low glycemic index, which often makes them a friendly choice when striving for balanced energy. Because they are digested at a steadier pace, they can help maintain an even flow of sugars into your bloodstream, all without the bustle of dramatic rises and falls. Imagine these tubers as patient givers, releasing their energy gift in slow increments, mirroring the calm tempo of a restful evening. This gentle flow sets the stage for a soothing lullaby of nutrition, neither jarring nor abrupt, but supporting each cell with just the right rhythm of fuel. When we look a bit further, we see the vibrant orange hue of the sweet potato's flesh. This color is often a signal that beta-carotene is present, a member of the carotenoid family of natural pigments. Beta-carotene is well known for its supportive role in overall health, and here it is present in abundant amounts. Though we make no grand medical claims, we can quietly appreciate that beta-carotene is converted in the body to vitamin A, and that vitamin A plays a supportive role for normal vision, along with other essential bodily processes. It is enough to reflect on how the sweet potato, quietly growing beneath a gentle blanket of soil, develops this radiant pigment that supports our well-being in modest, harmonious ways. We can now add to that picture the presence of vitamin C and vitamin B6, which participate in a broad range of bodily functions. Vitamin C, for instance, is often associated with supporting normal immune function, while vitamin B6 is involved in the healthy functioning of various enzyme systems and the normal production of neurotransmitters. Together, these vitamins engage in a graceful dance, each performing its function so that the body can orchestrate life's daily tasks. It is a kind of teamwork that is mirrored in the sweet potato's overall nutrient synergy, reminding us that nature has afforded this precious root vegetable a chorus of beneficial elements. Sweet potatoes also happen to be a nice source of dietary fiber, a valuable asset to a balanced lifestyle. Fiber plays a role in helping us feel satisfied after a meal, contributing to a steadier rhythm of digestion. And so as we savor sweet potatoes, we not only enjoy their soft and comforting texture, but also take in a fiber content that can help keep things moving gently within our digestive system. It is a quiet support in line with the restful spirit of a body preparing to slow down and drift off to sleep. Alongside these beneficial nutrients, we can also acknowledge the presence of potassium. Potassium is an essential mineral that helps contribute to fluid balance, muscle function, and more. In the hush of evening reflection, we can imagine that each bite of sweet potato might offer a subtle contribution toward the body's delicate equilibrium, helping maintain that sense of balance and well-being. The sweet potato, unassuming as it may look, proves to be a lovely package of vitamins, minerals, and complex carbohydrates that work in harmony. These encouraging nutrients encourage us to see the sweet potato not simply as a starchy side dish, but as a robust companion in our meals, a companion that carries a surprising depth of nourishment within its gentle color. We might now turn our attention to the sweet potato's storied background. Many believe its origins trace back to Central or South America, where it likely thrived in a climate that nurtured its growth and development. Over centuries, as trade routes expanded and people began to traverse oceans, the sweet potato was introduced to different regions. In time, it became a beloved staple in multiple cuisines around the world. However, in this relaxed moment, we need not dive extensively into every historical detail. Rather, we can rest upon the knowledge that sweet potatoes have woven themselves into many culinary traditions, each culture finding new ways to celebrate their natural sweetness and versatile texture. In some places, they are roasted to bring out a deep caramelized flavor, while in others they are gently baked, mashed, or pureed into comforting dishes that warm the belly. As we imagine these cooking traditions, we can picture the sweet potato nestled in the kitchen, ready to be transformed into nearly any form that suits our fancy, all while delivering its abundant nutritional gifts. Moving our thoughts from historical journeys to our own kitchens, we might reflect on how easy it can be to integrate sweet potatoes into the comforting rhythm of everyday meals. Imagine cutting a sweet potato into cubes, lightly drizzling them with oil, and roasting them in a warm oven until their edges turn crisp and golden, while their tender center remains soft and sweet. Alternatively, you might gently steam slices of sweet potato, preserving their moisture and bright color, pairing them with other colorful vegetables to create a visually appealing meal. If you enjoy more flavor-forward experiences, you might find that sweet potatoes blend effortlessly with cinnamon, nutmeg, a touch of ginger, or even the savory richness of herbs. All these possibilities eventually highlight how versatile this tuber can be, adapting to countless preparations while still retaining that reliable base of stable carbohydrates, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Though we seek a calm, gentle exploration rather than a recipe list, it is reassuring to know that whether you roast, bake, steam, or mash sweet potatoes, their nutritional essence remains steadfast, ready to soothe mind and body. One might wonder, aren't yams essentially the same thing as sweet potatoes? The short answer is that, while people in some regions use the names interchangeably, botanically speaking, they are different plants. Yams often have a more starchy or dry texture, and can range in color from beige to purple, but the sweet potatoes we find in many grocery stores typically boast that signature orange interior and a naturally sweet flavor. It's a small distinction, yet worth noting, particularly if you ever come across a vegetable labeled yam that is in fact a sweet potato. Regardless, the sweet potato stands as its own wonderful entity in the root vegetable family. Now, as the gentle glow of evening softly blankets our discussion, we might think about the synergy of nutritional elements that sweet potatoes bestow upon us. Complex carbohydrates provide a steady current of energy. The low glycemic index can lend these routes to those looking for ways to moderate sugar intake. Beta-carotene, fiber, potassium, vitamins C and B6, and other additional micronutrients coexist in one compact form, proving that nature sometimes packages an impressive array of nourishment into a single ingredient. These vibrant roots remind us that real whole foods can supply a subtle, balanced tapestry of sustenance without overwhelming the body with extremes. Imagine taking a reflective pause to consider the sweet potato's presence in an evening meal designed to help you unwind. Some individuals might choose to pair sweet potatoes with soothing flavors such as chamomile or a gentle herbal tea. The sweet potato, with its comforting warmth, might help ground a meal that is neither too heavy nor too light, bridging the space between satisfying nourishment and restful relaxation. Though we do not endorse any extravagantly medical claims, it is a comforting notion that wholesome, balanced foods like sweet potatoes can fit into a pattern of eating that supports general well-being. Let us step into the gentle farmland perspective once again. Picture rolling hills in the distance touched by fading sunlight, the earth rich and fertile beneath your feet. The sweet potatoes' vines sprawl across the ground, their leaves drinking in the last rays of golden hour. Beneath, the actual tubers quietly grow, forming their distinct shape under the protective layer of soil. The process is slow, measured by the rhythms of the sun and the rain, with each day adding a bit more to the sweet potato's formation. Over time, these tubers take on more color, more nutrients and more natural sweetness, like a hidden treasure waiting to be unearthed. In a way, it's a reminder that our own health can be nurtured by patience and gentle consistency, rather than rushed or forced. As you drift deeper into our sweet potato reverie, it may help to perceive how these tubers fit into the broader context of balanced eating. They are not the only source of nourishment, of course, but they certainly can play a helpful role if included alongside other nutrient-rich foods. The fiber might add a sense of fullness that encourages moderate portions, relieving the body of the urge to rush or overindulge. The vibrant color can brighten a plate, drawing the eye and the palate toward the natural sweetness. The complex carbohydrates gently supply energy, while aligning with a peaceful end-of-day environment that does not call for sharp spikes in alertness. As we speak of sweet potatoes, we also might muse about the small sprouts and blossoms that sometimes crown the vines, a reminder that a plant's outward appearance can mirror what lies within. Sweet potatoes, after all, store much of their energy in the edible roots themselves, ensuring that what humans harvest is the culmination of the plant's patient work during the growing season. This humility in the ground can reflect a kind of quiet power. Though they are not flashy or loud, sweet potatoes hold an abundance of life-sustaining qualities within their sturdy skin. And that protective skin can be important too, as many of the nutrients and fibers reside close to or within that outer layer. Some prefer to leave the skin on during cooking to maximize the ingestion of nutrients, though it is always good to give them a thorough wash to remove any dirt before enjoying. As we continue, let us find comfort in how the simple act of peeling or washing a sweet potato can be an exercise in mindfulness. When we take a moment to run water over the sweet potato's surface, feeling the earthy texture beneath our hands, we can connect with the natural origin of our food. And when we slice into the tuber, the bright orange interior stands out in contrast to the more subdued exterior, a visual reminder of nature's artistic palette. Each slice releases a faint earthy scent that hints at the sweet flavors within, a gentle invitation to prepare them in the way that best suits our tastes. There is a quiet reassurance in knowing that these tubers, having been cultivated for thousands of years, will continue to lend their support to generations to come. Moving through these reflections, one might notice how seamlessly sweet potatoes can fit into various mealtime patterns throughout the day. In the morning they could be roasted or par-cooked and diced into a hash with soft, soothing spices. At midday they could bring a nutritious note to a warm soup or a comforting curry. In the evening, perhaps simply baked and topped with mild herbs, they could serve as one of the final comforting bites of the day. They are extremely adaptable and rarely overshadow a dish, instead bringing mild sweetness and a gentle, earthy profile that pairs well with many flavors. Let us linger for a moment on the notion of beta-carotene once more, as it is responsible for that iconic orange color. Carotenoids, including beta-carotene, can be enhanced by the presence of a small amount of dietary fat. Some people choose to add a little butter, olive oil, or other healthy fats to their sweet potatoes, not only for an appealing taste, but also to aid in the body's natural ability to absorb these fat-soluble nutrients. Again, this is less about medical guarantees and more about understanding the synergy of nutrients when combined thoughtfully. It can be a gentle dance between the sweet potato's intrinsic nutrients and our culinary choices. As you begin to feel your own body relax, perhaps you realize that sweet potatoes are not only about physical nourishment, but can also serve as a symbol of nature's calm, patient process. From seedling to harvest, from harvest to the plate, each sweet potato has quietly gathered sunlight, water and nutrients from the soil, only to share them with us when we decide to incorporate it into our meals. And as we dwell on these thoughts, perhaps we start to see a parallel in our own lives. We too gather experiences and knowledge over time, patiently developing into who we are and what we may offer to others. It is a reminder that growth and nourishment of all kinds, physical, mental, or spiritual, tend to move at a steady pace, without the need for any frantic rush. In a suitably tranquil corner of our minds, we might consider adding a few more details about how sweet potatoes compare with other starchy foods, like white potatoes or pasta. While each food has its place in a balanced diet, sweet potatoes hold an advantage in their lower glycemic index and higher beta-carotene content, making them a popular choice for those who prefer a gentle release of energy and a good supply of key vitamins. Still, variety remains the spice of life, and sweet potatoes do not claim sole supremacy. They simply provide an option that carries a particularly harmonious profile of nutrients. As the sun sets behind those imagined rolling hills, a gentle breeze passes over the fields, lending a quiet hush to the farmland. The day's warmth seeps into the soil, and the sweet potato vines rest in the last traces of light. The reason sweet potatoes thrive in such an environment is their resilience. They can adapt to different climates, provided the soil is well drained and the weather remains temperate. This adaptability is part of the reason they have become so widespread around the world, from tropical regions to more temperate zones. Even though certain cultivars have unique colorations, some are purplish, others pale yellow, and still others a deeper orange, the underlying composition remains strikingly consistent. Fiber, vitamin, minerals, complex carbohydrates, and that signature sweet note. Sometimes we might forget that nature has provided a bounty of foods that align so gracefully with our own nutritional needs. Sweet potatoes exemplify this synergy beautifully. They are not reliant on artificial enhancements or exotic processes. They flourish in relatively modest environments, provided they have sunlight, water, and the right soil conditions. And when we choose to include them in our meals, we invite that modest earthbound energy into our own body. To carry on with our gentle narrative, we might note that while sweet potatoes contain important nutrients, they also have antioxidants that help defend against oxidative stress within the environment. These natural compounds are not a guaranteed shield against all harm, but they do remind us that plants often produce protective substances that can play a supportive role when we ingest them as part of a balanced, varied diet. Imagine each mouthful of sweet potato offering a subtle protective presence, invisible on a day-to-day scale, yet meaningful over a longer span of time, contributing to a life shaped by mindful choices. Venturing a little further, we recall that sweet potatoes can be an important ingredient in many cultural celebrations and traditional dishes. In some areas, sweet potatoes might be included in a harvest festival, symbolizing abundance and gratitude for the earth's gifts. In other cultures, sweet potatoes might play a central role in sweet dishes or desserts, evolving from the simple root to a delightful delicacy. This interplay between tradition and innovation highlights the versatility of sweet potatoes and underscores the sense that each individual can decide how best to utilize them for nourishment and enjoyment. Let's also consider the sweet potato's place in dietary patterns that emphasize whole, minimally processed foods. Diets that prioritize items like fruits, vegetables, whole grains and legumes often point to sweet potatoes as a noteworthy source of vitamins, antioxidants, and beneficial fiber. Their natural sweetness can sometimes reduce the urge for more processed sugary treats, offering that subtle sweet note in a more balanced package. Consequently, some folks find that sweet potatoes not only satisfy hunger, but might also satisfy the desire for a sweet flavor, all while supporting a calmer approach to blood sugar stability. As we glide through these reflections, perhaps you feel your eyelids growing heavier, lulled by the rhythmic notion that each bit of knowledge about sweet potatoes is a step toward deeper relaxation. There is no need to hold tight to every detail. Instead, allow these gentle facts to drift through your mind like a soft evening breeze across the farmland, carrying faint whispers of the soil's nurturing power. We do not need to memorize or analyze each nutritional data point right now. All we need is to rest in the knowledge that the sweet potato is here, an unassuming gift that nature has seen fit to place in our hands. Indeed, you might reflect on a future moment in your own kitchen, day or night, when you decide to slice open a sweet potato, marvel at its vivid color, and prepare it for a delicious, sustaining meal. You might choose to incorporate it into a warming stew or roast it gently until the edges crisp and the interior grows soft enough to melt on the tongue. You might prefer a simple approach, letting the sweet potato shine all on its own, or you might fold it into a more elaborate blend of grains and vegetables, making a hearty dish to be enjoyed with family or friends. On the other hand, if you are by yourself, you might take the opportunity to savor each bite in solitude, giving your senses time to appreciate the subtle flavor and texture. However you decide, the sweet potato remains user-friendly and undemanding, offering its signature sweet note with minimal fuss or complexity. In these closing moments, let us return to the notion that sweet potatoes provide an elegant balance of nutrients, from complex carbohydrates that release energy at a measured pace, to beta-carotene's beneficial presence, to vitamin C and B6 quietly working their wonders, to potassium aiding balanced bodily function, and finally to fiber assisting our digestion. The sweet potato can indeed be considered a symphony of nourishment. It asks little of us, a simple wash, a gentle preparation, and maybe a pinch of salt or a dash of fragrant spice. In exchange, we receive a food that aligns beautifully with our innate need for steady energy, mild sweetness, and supportive nutrients. As we wind down, let the calming fragrance of the farmland fill your imagination one last time. The soil releases its warmth from the day's sun, the leaves slowly still in the twilight, and the sweet potato remains grounded in the earth, waiting patiently until it is called upon to nourish us. This image can serve to remind us that much of what keeps us healthy comes from processes that unfold quietly below the surface, much like the hidden growth and nutrient accumulation of a sweet potato. The entire cycle, taken together, mirrors our own relationship to rest and rejuvenation. We plant seeds of well-being by choosing soothing, balanced foods, and we reap the reward in the form of persistent energy and a calm mind ready to embrace the quiet night. With that gentle thought, allow yourself to drift towards sleep, resting in the peaceful awareness that within this humble root lies a world of supportive nutrients, all blending seamlessly to ease and uplift us. And so, as this relaxing exploration of sweet potato nutrition nears its end, may you carry with you the tranquil reassurance that these tubers, so unassuming in appearance, can be a quiet partner on our journey toward balanced nourishment. Thank you for joining me on this calm and quiet discovery of what makes sweet potatoes such a perfect nutrient symphony, and may you continue to find solace in knowing that the simplest foods often bring us the purest gifts. It is time now to settle into your own soft embrace of rest, holding close the tranquil knowledge you have gathered, and drift off into a gentle night's sleep. Good night, and sweet dreams.